Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. We are coming up on a new year, and 2023 is looking to be an absolutely loaded year for game releases. Just big game after big game. It seems like we're hitting a new era in terms of big game releases. And in this video, I want to highlight all of the PC games that you should know about in the month of January. A ton to go over, major remakes, new IPs, a bunch of free games as well. We'll cover those as well. So let's get right into it, and let's start things off with what I think is the biggest game of January. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but to me, the Dead Space remake is an absolutely gargantuan release. Now, Dead Space came out all the way back in 2008, and we got Dead Space 2. Everybody loved that. We got Dead Space 3. Everybody didn't love that. But now, after all this time, it's been, almost a decade since Dead Space 3 came out, we are finally getting a new Dead Space game. Well, it's a full-on remake of the original, being done by Motive Studio, who Motive Studio, EA is putting a lot of pressure on them as they're working on a lot of big titles. I believe they've got a Marvel game in the works as well. They put out Star Wars Squadrons, but now we have a Dead Space remake rebuilt from the ground up. And obviously, Dead Space from 08 was an absolute classic, so to get that game modernized for a 2023 audience, I think this game is going to be incredibly special. And best of all, it's going to be natively available on Steam, which don't expect this as a regular thing from EA, but hey, in this case, it will be. Game is looking kinda, moderately difficult to run. RX 6700 XT and an RTX 2070 is recommended. Ryzen 5 5600X, i5 11600K, 16 gigs of RAM, so you know what you're getting yourself into. This is a true next generation title, so bear that in mind. Dead Space Remake is due out on January 27th. Next up, now you can make an argument that this is the biggest game release of January. I would side with Dead Space Remake, but Forspoken is a major release coming from Square Enix and Luminous Productions. Forspoken follows the journey of Frey, a young New Yorker transported to the beautiful and cruel land of Athea in search of a way home. Frey must use her newfound magical abilities to traverse sprawling landscapes and battle monstrous creatures. Now, this is a game that we don't have system requirements for, and I am very curious to see the PC specifications for this game, because if nothing else, this game looks like an absolute technical juggernaut. I think that was the main takeaway people had when we initially saw Forspoken, that this game visually looks pretty darn incredible, and it's coming from Luminous Productions, so that should be expected. Gameplay-wise, it does seem to be having a little bit of a mixed reception, and that being from the demo that's available. Unfortunately, not on PC, but it is available on PlayStation 5 if you have a PS5. Try out the demo for yourself. Thought it was a little bit of a mixed bag. Ultimately, I did have some positive things to take away from it, but it seems like, again, a lot of people are divisive when it comes to the demo. Hopefully the game turns out well, because it is a premier $70 title, so that is something to note as well. Forspoken due out on January 24th. Next up, a long-awaited free-to-play title. We have KartRider Drift coming from Nexon. KartRider Drift is the fun free-to-play cross-platform kart racing game where arcade thrills and fast drift-fueled competition meet customized karts and character personalization. Obviously, this is an arcade racer, and experience the newest free-to-play title in the popular franchise with over 300 million player cross-platform high-definition multiplayer kart racing experience. Drift is the most expansive, accessible, and competitive kart racing title ever. Race together anytime and anywhere. Again, play across a PC, Xbox, PlayStation, mobile devices with no paywalls, with local play and online features. Racing also never looked better, with a ton of customizability on top of that. KartRider Drift is due out, free release January 11th. Next up, a game hitting early access, we have Superfuse. An alien threat looms in a new comic book-inspired early access action RPG. Now, right away, that comic book-inspired element rings true, because that is the main takeaway I had when initially seeing the game. Visually, it has a very unique look. Take on waves of grotesque minions with up to 4 players in co-op, or go at it alone and uncover a vast conspiracy that endangers all of humanity. Become a hero in a world where superpowers are controlled by society's elite. Superfuse is due out at the end of January. In early access, January 31st, the game will drop. Next up, another free-to-play title in Flash Party. The Stardust Warriors is an overall upgrade to this fun-loving and exciting fighting party. Flash Party is a multi-platform fighting game that is free-to-play with online and offline matches to choose from, various modes, themed seasons, and competitive pinnacle arena. Looks like an over-the-top, wacky fighting game, to say the least. Over 20 distinctive heroes and many more on the way. With the arrival of Stardust Warriors, the battle style receives an overall upgrade. 4 different classes, each with distinctive mechanisms discovered discover your unique style, and you are the next party star. Flash Party is due out on Steam, free-to-play January 9th. Next up, we have the latest SpongeBob title coming from THQ Nordic, SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake. Now, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, relatively well received there. I think you have to have some nostalgia attached to really enjoy the game, but nonetheless, if you're buying this game, there's probably a level of nostalgia attached here. Wish granting mermaids tears in the hands of SpongeBob and Patrick, what could go wrong? Sure, the very fabric holding the universe together could come undone, opening portals into wild wish worlds, but that's nothing our favorite Sponge can't handle with the right cosmic costume. Some classic moments in the game as well. 7 distinct wish worlds like Wild West, Jellyfish Fields, and Halloween Rock Bottom. Experience all the buddy movie banter with SpongeBob's permanent companion, Balloon Patrick. Meet all your favorite Bikini Bottoms from this series, voiced by their original actors as well. How about that? SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake drops January 31st. Next up, a hack-and-slash free-to-play title in Warlander will be dropping on January 24th. This one just had a lengthy beta period. Harness the almighty powers of godlike warriors, clerics, and mages with a unique style that matches a medieval-inspired setting, fantastical items and abilities, and even powerful robots. Master siege weapons and cataclysmic spells to control the battlefield and destroy the enemy's core. The fantastical elements to the game, I think, do add a nice layer to the game, just because we see a lot of these, hack-and-slash multiplayer titles. Features fast-paced action combat and shrewd decision-making where you must play to the role of your squad by either defending your castle and core with anti-siege weapons, roaming the battlefield to intercept the enemy, capture towers, and fire mighty catapults, or by infiltrating the enemy, keep with siege weapons and epic cataclysmic spells. Again, this is a game with some depth and diversity to its gameplay. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out and what longevity it does have in terms of a player base. Warlander is due out on January 24th. Next up, another early access title, we have Surviving the Abyss. Earth 1976, you have been tasked with managing a deep-sea science facility working to perfect cloning. Mine resources, light your way in the dark, and explore the ocean floor to reach your research, maintain oxygen, power, and more to keep your crew alive. Beware, the darkness hides untold horrors. So this will be another early access game, strategy sim title, so if you're into that, might be something to keep an eye on. Surviving the Abyss drops on January 17th. Next up, if you're a fan of JRPGs, definitely one a lot of people are going to be interested in, we have Persona 3 Portable. So yes, this is the first full-on Persona 3 release on PC. Unfortunately for a lot of people, it is Persona 3 Portable. Look, I agree with everybody that said that they would have preferred Persona 3 FES. I don't know why it's not FES. I get it that Portable has its own elements that people do like better about it, but FES was where it was at, and that was the version I would have liked. Persona 3 is an all-time classic. A lot of people go back and forth as far as which Persona game they like the best, and with Persona, it's kind of like Fallout, where Fallout starts with Fallout 3. For a lot of people, Persona starts with Persona 3, but Persona 3 is a classic, and it's nice to have this. Obviously, Persona 5 and Persona 4 already available on PC and Steam, but Persona 3 Portable will be headed on over January 19th. Next up, lastly for the free-to-play offerings, we have Warhammer AOS Soul Arena. Soul Arena is noted to be a fun auto-battler that takes place in Game Workshop's amazing Age of Sigmar universe. Players choose from a diverse and powerful range of captains available and then take turns fighting off against each other on the battlefield. This one is due out at the end of January. Warhammer AOS will be dropping on January 31st. And finally, we have another JRPG, and if you're a fan of one of the most popular anime on the planet, you'll want to know about One Piece Odyssey. Obviously, I feel like the majority of people that are going to check out One Piece Odyssey are going to be One Piece fans. One Piece is not really the anime for me. I was a Naruto guy growing up, Dragon Ball. Those were the long-running shonens I really watched. One Piece, on the other hand, was always on 4Kids, never really checked it out. And at this point, trying to get into 900 episode or however many episode anime it is, a little bit of a daunting task, to say the least. I did watch the first couple of episodes, but I fell off. Nonetheless, One Piece Odyssey looks to be a JRPG that non-One Piece fans may be able to get into. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of fan service and stuff that One Piece fans are going to really enjoy, but it's a brand new RPG set in the world in the popular anime. Play as members of the Straw Hat Crew in a fantastic adventure set in the One Piece world. The famed pirate Monkey D. Luffy, better known as Straw Hat Luffy, and his Straw Hat crew are sailing across the New World in search of the next island and the next adventure that awaits them. But during their voyage, they are caught in a storm and shipwrecked. They find themselves washed up on a lush tropical island surrounded by constantly raging storms. Separated from his crew, Luffy sets off on a grand new adventure to find his friends and escape the island. One Piece Odyssey is scheduled for release officially in notes January 13th. If you guys are familiar with Bandai Namco releases, you will be able to play at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on January 12th. I don't know why that is. Probably just something to do with time zones and a worldwide release that they're trying to do, but the same thing happened with, like, Elden Ring of all games, so bear that in mind. But yeah, something to be on the lookout for, especially if you're a One Piece fan. And that is gonna do it for me. Again, a ton of major releases coming in January. We covered JRPGs, major remakes, a new IP in Forspoken, a lot of free-to-play titles as well. Obviously, there's gonna be more games dropping on Steam in the month of January, but these are the ones that I picked out and wanted to highlight. But that is gonna do it for me. Let me know which games you're the most excited for in January. I imagine Dead Space Remake and Forspoken are gonna be the two that people are really looking forward to. One Piece Odyssey, Persona 3 Portable, though, definitely sleepers coming next month alongside a bunch of free-to-play games as well. That'll do it for me. Again, let me know all your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.